All right, let's dive right into this. Welcome to This Explainer, where we're going to unpack a truly high-stakes mystery that is literally gripping Washington right now. If you've been following the ongoing conversation around government transparency, you already know things are moving fast. But recently, well, reports suggest a massive tectonic shift is happening right at the top, inside the White House and the halls of Congress. We're going to structurally break down exactly what's being claimed, who is pushing for answers, and the downright bizarre hurdles they're encountering. Let's get into it.
So we've got to start with an absolutely massive question. Has the president actually been briefed on crash retrievals? According to recent reporting by journalist Ross Coulthart, the claim is that the sitting president of the United States has reportedly been read into a program that's been kept completely hidden from presidents for decades. Now, think about the implication there. We're not just talking about your standard daily intelligence brief. We're talking about a specific legacy program that whistleblowers claim has operated totally outside of normal executive oversight. If that's accurate, it means the commander-in-chief is now facing a reality that has historically been walled off from the Oval Office.
Okay, Section 1, the Presidential Briefing Claim.
Now, the absolutely crucial point to understand here is that this is not some fringe movement. There's a highly coordinated bipartisan effort happening. Ross Coulthart specifically named these four lawmakers, Representatives Marco Rubio, Anna Paulina Luna, Eric Burleson, and Tim Burchett, as the key figures who reportedly forced this briefing to actually happen. They're actively using their positions and committee access to pry open doors that have been sealed tightly for generations. They are the ones demanding that the White House be fully briefed on what exactly the intelligence community and defense sector are holding on to.
Look, there's a massive difference between a standard UAP briefing and a legacy crash retrieval program briefing. Physicist Dr. Eric Davis, who served as the science advisor for the original UAP task force, he clarified a major point of contention here. He noted that while the president likely received a standard briefing on the general UAP problem during his first term, he was absolutely not briefed on the crash retrieval topic. Davis argues these legacy programs were hidden through financial concealment from the executive branch itself. So this new claim? The idea that the president has finally been read into the crash retrieval side of things, that is a massive escalation.
Moving on to Section 2, Gatekeepers and Hidden Programs.
To really understand that bureaucratic conflict, just listen to this striking claim from Representative Tim Burchett. He says, "The deep state's fighting the president on release. Some of our alphabet agencies are slow-walking a lot of information." Burchett doesn't view this as just a lack of information, but as an active, deliberate power struggle. He's alleging that certain intelligence agencies, the alphabet agencies, are actively resisting the president and Congress just to maintain control over these deeply buried secrets.
So, you might be wondering, how exactly do they hide something this big? Let's break down the alleged mechanics of this contractor loophole. According to Representative Burleson's ongoing investigations, it's essentially a three-step process. First, keep the program entirely hidden from congressional oversight. Second, fund it through completely opaque financial channels or even alleged financial fraud. And third, and this is the real trick, hand the physical materials and the research over to private aerospace contractors. Burleson actually just sent a formal letter to MIT Lincoln Laboratory asking for a classified 1952 briefing video, which shows Congress is now actively tracking this paper trail into private labs like RAND, MITRE, and Northrop Grumman. By placing it all in private hands, the claim is that it becomes legally shielded from standard government FOIA requests and congressional subpoenas.
Now, alongside all that bureaucratic gatekeeping, there's a whole other layer to how this information is being framed. Some lawmakers are actually exploring theories that place a sort of religious veil over these anomalies. Representative Luna recently posted imagery of a biblically accurate angel. Representative Boebert has suggested these could be fallen angels or Nephilim, and Representative Burchett has framed some of this phenomena as potentially relating to Ezekiel's wheel. We're just impartially reporting these perspectives to show you exactly how wide-ranging and unconventional the theories have become, even among sitting members of Congress who are trying to make sense of the intel they're reviewing.
All right, Section 3, Whistleblower Threats and Encounters.
You know, the push for disclosure isn't just about shuffling paperwork around. It involves severe personal stakes for the people actually coming forward. Take Luis Elizondo, the former Pentagon ATIP director. He recently confirmed on the record that while he and whistleblower David Grush were working together at the U.S. Space Force, they faced massive pushback. He said they were threatened very specifically to shut their mouths, otherwise they would have their mouths shut for them. That fundamentally changes the context of this explainer, right? It highlights that the individuals trying to bring this information to light are allegedly facing extreme, direct threats to their safety from within the very defense apparatus they serve.
And let's see how this builds into even more bizarre territory. Elizondo also recently shared a truly astonishing anecdote on the record involving a senior CIA officer and his wife who actually worked as a psychologist for the agency. According to Elizondo, this highly credible couple woke up in their Virginia home in a state of absolute panic, only to find themselves outside, lying next to each other in the grass of their own backyard, staring up at the sky.
But it gets wilder. When that senior CIA officer was examined by agency doctors, they allegedly found a puncture in the back of his neck. And more shockingly, when his wife sneezed, some sort of foreign material came out, what they described as looking like some sort of technological metal chip. Now, what Elizondo emphasizes here, and what you really should take away from this, is the pedigree of the people involved. This isn't just a random civilian misidentifying something in the sky. This is a senior intelligence official and an agency psychologist. Elizondo claims there are people currently at the CIA who are completely witting to this exact event.
Which brings us to Section 4, the FBI briefing shift.
Talk about whiplash. There has been a dramatic, completely unexpected political shift regarding AARO, the Pentagon's official UAP investigation office. Just a few months ago, Representative Anna Paulina Luna was openly calling for AARO to be entirely defunded and disbanded, citing a lack of transparency. But recently, after walking out of a closed-door, classified UAP briefing at FBI headquarters, she completely reversed her stance. She literally gave the FBI briefing a 10 out of 10, said it gave them direction, and she, along with Representative Burleson, publicly endorsed AARO and its new director. It's a complete 180-degree turn.
Which leaves us staring at a massive question. What on earth did the FBI show lawmakers in that secure facility to completely change their minds? To go from demanding the office be shut down to taking smiling photos with its director and giving the FBI a 10 out of 10, well, that implies some highly compelling, potentially game-changing evidence or strategic direction was shared behind those closed doors. The actual contents of that briefing remain classified, but its political impact on Capitol Hill, that has been immediate and undeniable.
So, let's tie all of this together. Why does this actually matter? Because the real-world stakes are monumental. We're looking at a scenario where the sitting president has reportedly just been briefed on legacy programs hidden from the Oval Office for decades. We've got a relentless bipartisan congressional push fighting against alleged alphabet agency gatekeepers. And we have formal active investigations opening up into private defense contractors to find out exactly where these materials are being stored. At its core, this is a high-stakes constitutional battle over government oversight, the flow of taxpayer money, and who ultimately controls the most sensitive information on the planet.
I want to leave you with this provocative thought. If the absolute highest levels of the United States government, the president, elite lawmakers, and intelligence committees are only just now fighting their way through the bureaucratic red tape to uncover a decades-old mystery, what happens when the full truth finally breaks containment and reaches the public? We're watching a dam slowly crack under immense pressure right now, and the story is shifting literally every day. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep your eyes open, stay curious, and we'll see you next time as this incredible narrative continues to unfold.